I showed her my path where the tall rows end, where map lines soften, curve and bend. The pines stand close like listening wood, holding the hush the valley could. My boots tap out a patient beat on stone slick edges and pine needle sheet. The daylight thins, then turns to spare, a clean cold cut of open air. I strike one match and the fire takes a small bright mouth and the shadow breaks. The kettle rocks, then finds its song, a little steam that won't last long. The smoke goes up in a crooked line, like old remarks I don't rewind. Night settles down without a care, and I sit still in the open air. The last birds fold into the trees, the dark comes in on quiet knees. No doors to close, no plans to pair, just time that moves in open air. So keep me here where the ridges are wide, where the far lights end and the thoughts subside. Let the fire throw soft shapes on stone, let the silence say I'm not alone. I don't need more than a steady stare and the slow warm pulse of ashlight and open air. Open air. At dawn the frost writes on my sleeve, then melts away the way things leave. I pack it up with simple care and walk back out through open air. So keep me here where the ridges are white, where the far lights end and the thoughts subside. I don't need more than a steady stare, just ashlight and open air. Open air.
I step off late where the blacktop breaks, where culverts sing and the coal pond wakes. The sky is tin, the birch is bright, a paper trunk in fading light. My pockets hold a match and twine, a folded map and salted pine. I hear my own boots slow and close, like steady drums in a field of hush. I camp where the ridge can see for miles, where wind combs grass into roughened files. The fire takes hold with a brittle snap, then settles down dark where the North Star floats. My compass made of smoke. The daylight slips through a thinner seam like river glass in a shallow stream. And in that hush I start to know how little I need to let things go. So I'll walk the line where the longwoods lean, through cedar shade and the in-between. Let the wide sky keep its patient scope. Let the trail unwind like weathered rope. If my thoughts get heavy, I take it slow. I follow the night with a compass made of smoke. At dawn the frost turns pale and clear, and every sound arrives sincere. I fold my tent, I cinch my coat, and drift on out like smoke. So I'll walk the line where the longwoods lean, through cedar shade and the in-between. If my thoughts get heavy, I take it slow. I follow the night with a compass made of smoke.
I roll my bed on a bed of pine, where resin and cold air intertwining. The morning fog moves soft and slow, like silver thread in an ember glow. My boots find gravel, steady shore, a simple path with an ancient cure. The hills hold still, the branches sigh, and I breathe it in under the same white sky. A quiet road bends out of sight, through fire tree shade and broken light. I pass old fences worn and gray, like tired bones the years won't sway. The creek runs clear then runs away, a bright small song, it will not stay. I walk on through the spruce and ride, keeping my thoughts under the same white sky. When the daylight starts to dim, the edges blur and faces thin. The world grows wide, the worries shy, they loosen up and drift on by. So I go where the long hills lie, where the wind rides low and the hawks draw high. Let the fire speak in a quiet tone, let the dark feel deep but not unknown. I don't need much, I don't ask why, just a steady heart under the same white sky. Under the same white sky. Come out in a scattered rhyme, like lanterns hung on the ribs of time. I hold my hands to the coals nearby and let my breathing learn the sky. So I go where the long hills lie, where the wind rides slow and the hawks draw high. I don't need much, I don't ask why, just a steady heart under the same white sky. I turn off north where the billboards end, where the last cracked lines don't even pretend. The road goes quiet, a gravel loan, paid back slow by a tire's low tone. The trees stand tall in a shadowed road, like dark green ink in a sketchbook glow. I breathe in deep till my shoulders roam, keeping time with a backcountry metronome. I set my camp where the flat stones rest, where the creek keeps cool in a braided crest. The fire lights up with a patient spark, then settles down like a bookmark mark. My tin cup clinks, then the sound falls through to the moss and dirt and the midnight blue. The wind taps pine with a steady calm, keeping time with a backcountry metronome. Oh, fades to a lower flame, and everything drops its heavy name. No need to fix what I can't control. The open dark does half the work. So I walk on soft where the long trails run, where the miles don't shout and the days come undone. Let the white sky hold what I can't hold. Let the night be quiet and the fire be bold. If my mind gets fast, I bring it home, keeping time with a backcountry metronome. Turns clean and plain, like a washed out page after steady rain. I lace my boots, I shoulder the loan, keeping time with that metronome. So I walk on soft where the long trails run, where the miles don't shout and the days come undone. If my mind gets fast, I bring it home, keeping time with a backcountry metronome. Oh,
stand of birch. Pale light hangs where the night would perch. My breath rose out in a silver surge, cold and clean at the forest's edge. The ground remembers where I lay, pressed down grass in a quiet shade. I move slow, let the minutes stay, while the dark loosens inch by inch. Last night's fire is a ring of grey. Birch smoke clings but begins to fade. Kettle sings once, then drifts away. Steam lifts off like a thought half said. The trail waits on without a sound, just a narrow promise into ground. I shoulder miles I haven't found, leave warm circles where I was bound. I don't rush the leaving or name the why. The land stays still as I pass it by. Each small step feels clean and light, like the road knows when the time is right. There's birch smoke over a leaving place, morning holding a steady face. No need to hurry, no need to chase, just a widening calm in an open space. I carry the quiet, not the weight, from birch smoke over a leaving place. Sun climbs slow through a broken green, shadows thin where the light has been. The earth feels firm, the air feels plain, like this pause will remain the same. There's birch smoke over a leaving place, and the road ahead keeps an easy pace.
The light runs low on a clearing of stone, and day pulls back to a thinner tone. I set my pack where the grass is grown, let the silence settle in on its own. One match flares up and learns the air. Flame takes shape without a care. The trees lean in and stay right there, like they've done this longer than they share.
The fire speaks soft in a broken rhyme. Ash drifts out, keeping careful time. My breath slows down to a steadier line. No need to borrow tomorrow's mine.
dust and miles dropping to the ground. The dark stays wide without a sound, just space enough to sit unwound. And I don't fill the quiet or give it a name. It holds just fine without the frame. Each small crackle, each low flame knows how to stay without explaining. There are Coalmarks right in the evening wind, little signs of where I've been. I don't follow them, I don't pretend. I just watch them lift and then end. The night feels large but easy to spend, with Coalmarks right in the evening wind. Stars come out in a patient row, bright enough but never close. The ground stays firm, the fire stays low, like it knows when to hold, when to let go. There are Coalmarks right in the evening wind, and I'm still right here breathing in. There are Coalmarks right in the evening wind, and I'm still right here breathing in.
Pack my days in a canvas sack and take the old road out and back. The birches flash their pale white skin as evening cools the valley in. And my footsteps drum on the steady time on root and rock and dusty rime. A distant ridge turns blue, then gray, like thoughts I had and put away.
I set a fire where stones lie round, a small bright tongue against the ground. The kettle clicks, then settles down, like rain that learns a softer sound.
The wind combs through the first dark hair and leaves its salt on open air. I watch the shadow stretch and lean like lanterns in the tree line.
The last light slips behind the hill, and everything is wider still.
No need to name what I've been through. The night knows how to listen to. So I'll stay where the long pines stand, with ash on my hands and earth on my hands. Let the silence be a steady tune under star-cold nails and a drifting moon. If the world feels fast, I walk it slow in the tree lines glow. In the tree lines glow. The tree lines glow. gentler flame. And nothing here demands a name. Just light on leaves, then light on stone. And I'm alright to be alone. So I'll stay where the long pines stand, with ash on my hands and earth on my hands. If the world feels fast, I'll walk it slow. In the tree lines grow, and the tree lines glow.
I walk out early while roofs still sleep, while frost holds tight and the shadows keep. The road is empty, pale and long, like a quiet verse without a song. My boots find rhythm in gravel and clay, as crows draw circles in slate gray day. The tree line opens and closes tight, like a slow held breath in borrowed light. I make a fire where the low fern grows, where the creek runs dark and the north wind knows. The kettle trembles and starts to sing, a thin bright note on a wire string. The smoke goes up in a leaning line, like old lost words I don't re-sign. I sit still, letting the hours rinse in the hush between the pines. The daylight drops from gold to blue, and everything feels close and true. No need to rush, no need to win, just slow returns and starting again. So I'll stay out where the wide land lies, where the far hills fade and the sparrow flies. Let the night come on with a steady tone, let the fire burn down to a brighter bone. If my thoughts turn sharp, I let them rinse in the hush between the pines. Dawn arrives with a softer sound, a thin warm hand on the sleeping ground. I fold my tent, let the day begin, still held within that hush. So I'll stay out where the wide land lies, where the far hills fade and the sparrow flies. If my thoughts turn sharp, I let them rinse in the hush between the pines.
drips green through a canopy scene, light thinning out like a half-held dream. My boots go still by a falling beam. The forest breathes in a slower scheme. I clear a space where the ground feels kind, needles and soil in an easy line. The day lets go without a sign, like it trusts the dark to finish the time. One small fire learns how to stay low, flame curling soft in an amber glow. Smoke finds gaps where the cold winds go, leaving traces I won't need to know. My hands warm up, then drift apart. Ash settles down like a measured start. The trail behind me fades to a thought, something begun but never caught. And I don't replay where the hours went, and they sing like sparks in the firmament. The quiet holds what the day has spent, without a word or a movement bent. There's Mosslight holding this borrowed stock, green and dim where the shadows drop. The fire keeps time with a gentle pop, enough to stay, not enough to stop. I rest right here where the moment sluts, in Mosslight holding a borrowed stock. Stars lean out through the upper leaves, distant and calm in their quiet beliefs. The ground stays true beneath my weight, like it knows how to hold and wait. There's Mosslight holding this borrowed stock, and I let the night take what it wants.
I wake where the pine needles stitch the ground, the thin blue morning barely found. My kettle sings on a lopsided stone, and every small sound feels like its own. Bootlaces bite, then soften time. Trail dust rises like muted rhyme. A raven crosses, black and slow, like ink that the open sky won't throw. The road unwinds past weathered posts, through split rail shadows and ferny coasts. I count my breaths in colder air, watch sunlit patches drift and wear. A creek keeps talking under glass, stones hold the heat from hours that pass. No hurry here, no need to prove, just quiet moving groove by groove. And when the light leans down to rest, a hand across my chest. The wider it gets, the less I know, and that feels clean, like letting go. So I follow the line where the horizon stays, past cedar shade and amber haze. Let the world be large, let me be small, a spark in the dark at the forest wall. If my thoughts get loud, I let them roam. The wilderness makes a kind of home. Firelight flickers soft and plain, a steady pulse in the window pane. I turn my hands toward the warming glow and watch the night breeze slow and slow. So I follow the line where the horizon stays, past cedar shade and amber haze. Let the world be large, let me be small, a spark in the dark at the forest wall. If my thoughts get loud, I let them roam. The wilderness makes a kind of home.
Morning hums low through a pine split ridge. Ash on my boots from a night I lived. The trail pulls thin like a loosened stitch. Every step like where the ground forgives. Fog lifts slow from a creek bed bend. Sun finds bark where the shadows end. I showed the miles I won't defend. Let the day decide where it wants to send.
Dust and wind keeping even time.
Well, I walk through space that doesn't speak, just breath and motion, steady and meek. The horizon holds but doesn't seek. A long held pause I don't need to keep. I don't name the hours or count the ground they move on through without a sound. Each mile thins what I thought I found, till stillness feels more close than bound. The static between two campfires burning, a stretch of quiet where nothing's turning. No loss to measure, no return earning, just ground unfolding and light unlearning. I walk that space without concern. The static between two campfires burning. Stars step out
He knows the best things pass, not try. Steady between two campfires burning, and I move through it slow, still learning. Oh,
I leave the house when the kettle's done, when morning's still more shade than sun. The road lays out in a pale gray line, like thread pulled straight through coastal pine. My tires hum a low soft ring, a steady note I can't help singing. The fields roll out then fade from view, and the sky feels big enough to move. I stop where the river turns to glass, where alder roots hold the bank's dark mass. I pitch my tent by a driftwood heap where wind talks low and the waters keep. The fire takes hold with a glowing grin, then settles down to a calmer spin. I warm my hands till the cold lets go, watching the embers patient glow. The light slips off like a coat unstitched, gold turns to blue in the places it's pitched. No need for words, no need for sound, the quiet is a kind of ground. So let me ride where the long roads swing, like a worn old tune on a quiet string. Let the pines lean in, let the white dust scream, let the last birds fold in a slowing beat. If my thoughts run fast, I slow my pace, and the open land puts me back in place. Stars come out in a scattered swing, bright little nails on the evening string. I breathe it deep, let the hours hum, till the night feels plain and the mind goes numb. So let me ride where the long roads swing, like a worn old tune on a quiet string. If my thoughts run fast, I slow my pace, and the open land puts me back in place.
Head out north, where the fence is thin, where fields let go and the woods begin. The road turns rough, then rougher still. A ribbon pulled past a silent hill. My breath comes white in the morning shade, like chalk on air that the cold has made. I count my steps to keep in time with pine wind tucked in a pocket of mine. I set my camp where the flat rocks shine, where dust drops slow like watered wine. The fire sits low, a copper eye, watching the dark as it passes by. And now calls out, then calls again, like someone knocking on far-off tin. The sparks lift up and slip out of sight, like small bright thoughts that forget the night. The last light drains from the treetop rail, and everything feels wide and frail. No need to rush, no need to prove, just steady ground and a quiet groove. So I'll walk on where the long ridges roll, where the open distance steadies my soul. Let the wind write lines in the tall grass bed, let the trail go on without wild wind. If my mind gets loud, I'll let it unwind, with pine wind tucked in a pocket of mine. At dawn, the frost lifts clean and thin, like a soft new page I'm walking in. I shake out ash, I shoulder time, and follow the hush like an old refrain. So I walk on where the long ridges roll, where the open distance steadies my soul. If my mind gets loud, I'll let it wind, with pine wind tucked in a pocket of mine. Take the back road, thin and warm, past leaning pines and fields of corn. The sky hangs low, a wool gray sheet, and every mile sounds like a heartbeat. My breath comes out in a steady stream, like fog unrolling from a dream. The hills stay quiet, far and wide, like patient waves with no tide. I make my camp where the river bends, where smooth stones shine like old time friends. The fire burns down to ember red, a quiet circle where I rest my head. The water talks in a simple rhyme, repeating words that don't need time. I watch the sparks lift and say goodbye, small bright notes in a riverline lullaby. And the daylight slips behind the spring
holds drops of blue. I fold my camp, I shoulder back, still humming low that lullaby. So let the wide woods cover me like a slow green sea, like a slow green sea. If my mind gets loud, I let it lie, and I breathe it down in a riverline lullaby.
The road went quiet an hour ago. Lions fell away where the grasses grow. My breath kept pace with the duskwood glow. Every step slower than it used to go. Hills lean back in a patient sprawl. Sky thinning out like a lifted wall. I walked until walking felt optional, then let the evening make the call. I set my pack by a stand of ash. Hands smell like pine and I struck out. One small fire learned how not to ask, just held its shape in a careful patch. Boots dried out at the edge of the light, dust letting go of the long-held miles. The road behind me lost its bite, turned to a thought that could rest a while. I don't trace back what the day erased, or frame the distance I didn't chase. The night comes on at an honest pace and gives me room without taking space. I'm reading the telemetry of a small fire, how it leans then settles then lifts a wire. Every spark knows when to retire, every glow knows when to expire. I stay right here where the dark feels wide, with a small fire keeping time. Stars arrive in a scattered agreement. No straight lines, no firm alignment. The ground stays cool, the air stays clear, like the stillness has been rehearsed for years. I'm reading the telemetry of a small fire. And letting the science draw the wire.
off a basin of light. Hills hold still through the edge of night. My breath finds shape in the cooling height. Each step is down, not pulled or tight. The trail runs pale through a widening plain. Dust and stone in a steady refrain. I walk where the land doesn't ask my name, just lets me pass, then looks the same. By noon the horizon learns how to sprawl. Lines fall away, nothing framed at all. Wind moves through like a casual call. Touches the grass, then forgets to fall. I drink from shade where the ground stays firm. Let the hours loose and let time adjourn. No markers left that I need to learn. Just ground underfoot and a slower turn. I don't argue distance or speed my pace. The land opens up when I give it space. Each mile thins out what I thought to chase, till quiet fits like a resting place. I'm reading the topography of unhurried air. How the wide world moves without repair. No rush to finish, no need to prepare. Just light shifting shape everywhere. I stay long enough to feel it declare. And this is the map of unhurried air. Its longer lines, shadows stretch where the daylight resigns. The earth stays calm, the sky inclines, like stillness knows when to realign. I'm reading the topography of unhurried air, held by the quiet,
I start out late when the town goes dim, when streetlights blur at the edges rim. The highway hum turns thin and small, then fades like dust beyond the wall. I take the turn where the asphalt ends, where gravel begins and the wildness bends. My breath makes clouds in the lantern's drape, and I learn again how quiet keeps its shape. trail through cedar shade, where last year's needles never fade. The ground feels firm, then gives a bit, like memory choosing where to sit. The creek line threads through moss and stone, a silver seam in the dusk alone. The fire I build is a steady tape, a warm small loop, while quiet keeps it shape. The daylight drains from gold to blue, and every sound feels clean and true. No talking back, no need to scrape, just room enough for what I can't reshape. So let the wide land open up, let wind and pine fill my empty cup. Let the stars come out, mile by mile, like slow lit towns in a darker dial. I don't chase signs, I don't escape, I just stay near where quiet keeps it shape. At dawn the ridge turns pale and clear, the kind of light that cools the fear. I fold my tent, I check my tape, and carry on while quiet keeps its shape. So let the wide land open up, let wind and pine fill my empty cup. I don't chase signs, I don't escape, I just stay near where quiet keeps its shape. I leave at dawn when the lamps burn low, while porch light halos fade to snow. My breath comes out like a paper kite, catching the edge of the waking light. The gravel road starts small and clear, a steady line to disappear. Pines stand guard in a patient ring, and under my boots the gravel sings. I pitch my tent where the tall grass bends, where juniper shade and the wind are friends. A tin cup warms by the cold soft glow, like amber held in the dark below. Owls straight notes in the distant trees, a hush that moves like a slow sea breeze. I watch sparks rise then lose their wings, and in that quiet the gravel sings. The day lets go, the colors thin, blue turns to ash along the rim. No crowded words, no borrowed things, just room enough for listening. So take me out where the wide land sprawls, past river turns and the granite walls. Let my thoughts fall back in the stream, Just me, the night, and the gravel sings. The stars come sharp like scattered glass, bright little nails in a midnight mass. I hold still till the whole world brings its older song. How the gravel sings. So take me out where the wide land sprawls, past river turns and the granite walls. I walk it plain, no crown, shore kings. Just me, the night, and the gravel sings. So take me out where the wide land sprawls, past river turns and the granite walls. I walk it plain, no crown, shore kings. Just me, the night, and the gravel sings. Morning loosens its grip on the ground. Fog lifts slow without making a sound. The road runs narrow, pale and unwound, like it's learned how to not stick around. My breath finds rhythm in open air. Boots meet gravel with nothing to spare. Trees lean back as the light turns fair, letting the day arrive unaware. By evening the miles begin to thin. Morning lifts off a shoulder of land, cold air steady in the back of my hand. The road runs pale like a loosened band, no hurry built into where I stand. Grass is lean with a measured sway, learning the light as it finds its way. Each breath lands clean, then drifts away, like it's never planned to stay. By noon the horizon opens wide, fields unfold on a patient sight. Wind moves through without a guide, crossing the miles that don't divide. Gravel hums under a careful shoe, a quiet rhythm I settle into. Nothing ahead I need to construe, just space enough to move on through. I don't count distance or mark the time, they thin themselves without a sight. Each step taken without design feels closer to the ground I find. And I walk with windbreaks for unanswered miles, no fixed direction, no practice trials. The silence stretches, then gently smiles, like it's been waiting here a while. I carry nothing I need to defend through unanswered miles that slowly bend. Evening lowers the pitch of the sky, shadows lengthen and pass me by. The earth feels firm, the air feels wide, like stillness knows when to arrive. I walk with windbreaks for